Oh, girl. It's too cold. No, come on, it's too cold. It's too cold, girl. We're not doing that.
Hey guys, just a quick check-in just to see how everybody's doing during this time. It's definitely a very stressful and anxious filled last couple of weeks, but I just didn't want to come on and check to see how everybody's doing. I'm doing okay, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm just talking about the COVID-19 virus. I live in Ohio, and our governor today just announced that he's doing a statewide mandatory shut-in, especially for all non-essential workers. So yeah, it's affecting everybody all over the world in different ways. My husband's office closed last Wednesday, and he's probably going to be filing for unemployment tomorrow or Monday. And I go in on work tomorrow because the stay-at-home doesn't become into effect until midnight on Monday. So I'm sure we'll get instructions and stuff, so I may also be filing for unemployment tomorrow as well. It just depends. I'm in the insurance field, and I'm not sure if we're considered essential or not, but I'll find out more from my employer tomorrow. What makes this so scary, especially being a legally blind, visually impaired woman, and I just call myself blind because I have, like I said before, no central vision. What makes it scary for me is that during vocational rehab, when I was initially diagnosed from a low vision clinic, and they referred me to the state of Ohio for voc rehab, you learn everything by tactile and haptic feedback. Sorry, helicopter. So what that means is that as a blind person, I'm going to interpret the environmental world around me by touching, okay? My fingertips. My fingertips have learned, since I'm learning Braille, are extremely sensitive. So I use my fingertips to interpret the world around me. Now when I'm in my house, I'm fine and dandy because I know my house very, very well. I feel very secure in my house. I am a Virgo ascending sign, which that means I'm so Virgo in this aspect, is that I'm meticulous and OCD about cleanliness. I'm constantly cleaning, I'm constantly wiping things down. So in my house, I feel very secure and safe. And I don't need to constantly be touching everything because I know where everything is because I put them there. And I'm very, very, very particular. Don't move things that I put down because if you move it, I literally won't be able to find it unless you tell me. But in the outside world, I have to have context. Otherwise, I feel lost in a big black hole, I call it. Is that when I go outside, I have to touch things to understand where I'm at, to understand a landmark. I have to get some type of haptic feedback, like vibrations, putting my hand against something and feeling the vibrations against that. I need that type of interaction. And with COVID-19, I feel that not only do I not have one sense of sight, but I'm losing two senses of touch because I'm not allowed to touch anything. It helps with navigation, sighted guide. The social distancing does not apply usually for a sighted guide. Sighted guide, you usually have you're holding someone's elbow or shoulder. You're touching another human being. You're in their 6 feet space. So now during this epidemic, this sighted guide can no longer be a thing because I take very seriously my responsibility and accountability to not making other people sick. I'm in my 40s, but I'm fairly healthy and I'm not part of the risk group, I don't think. So I don't want to contract this and pass it to someone else because I won't be able to live with myself if I knew I was responsible for making someone else very extremely sick. My husband is in the risk group. He has high blood pressure and he also has asthma. My brother-in-law, he has a heart transplant. He has self-quarantined himself for way before our governor mandated this today, for weeks, because he has a heart transplant. His immune system is barely non-existent. My baby brother is finally fighting through valley fever. He lives in California. They're also in a stay-at-home mandate. And that is all respiratory. It like wreaks havoc on your whole entire body, but it gets in your lungs, right? So he can't get sick. So I feel a huge responsibility just to keep myself clean and non-contaminatory. Did I make a word? I think I did. But anyway, not to be contaminated to contaminate other people. I take that very, very, very seriously. So if I take that seriously, I can't do sighted guide. So navigating an unknown area is a no, can't do. I cannot touch things to gain context of what I'm around, to kind of get my marbles without freaking people out. And that's another thing too, is like there is now a heightened sense of judgment of people. You know, yeah, you may have your white cane or you may have your guide dog, and just this hyper fear from people. Oh my gosh, she has a dog in this store. That's not hygienic. Roxy's probably cleaner than a lot of those humans out there, but that unrational fear, not knowing the facts. Animals don't get COVID-19. So if you see me using my guide dog as I have a public place, you're safe. But while you're in there, your anxiety is high because you can fear their tension and their fear all directed and focused on you. So yeah, and because of that, you just want to make sure that you're keeping in that social distancing, especially if you have an eye condition that makes it very hard for depth perception. I don't know if I'm near you or far away from you. I have a really hard time. So, you know, keeping that 6 feet away, I really want to honor that. But, you know, if you see someone's blind, they totally blind, one, they're not going to know. So just let them know, hey, I'm right here. Just announce yourself. If you don't announce yourself, they're not going to know. So just that also is another component of like anxiety. It's like, I don't want people to be afraid of me because I can't see them, or I don't know how far away they are from me. Really, I can't judge that distance. So that's something I've been dealing with, but it literally feels like I lost all my two major senses, touch and sight. And it just makes the world a more scary place for me. I can't interpret my environment. I don't understand my environment. And because of those impairments, my depression is going high. My anxiety is going high. And my fear is exponentially high because I communicate with my hands by touching, by holding, and I can't do that. I can't reassure someone by like, it's okay. I can't do that. And I can hear my voice sometimes in my tone, that fear, that uncertainty is coming through. So yeah, I just kind of want to come up here and just tell you how it is with regards to if you have a visual impairment or you're totally blind. From my perspective, because I can't talk for anyone else, how I'm struggling, because I did not realize how much I relied and interpreted my world through my fingertips. And I will say this, the one thing I noticed is that I am learning Braille, so the tips of my fingers are extremely, extremely sensitive. I didn't realize how sensitive they were. I guess when you use it every day, you didn't realize how sensitive they are until you can't use it as often. But yeah, I get just like, I like to calm myself, I just hold my hands and like, okay, it's gonna be okay, and I can like feel my pulse through my hands, or I can hear the blood rushing through my ears. Like all my auditory is at a heightened state. Not that I no daredevil stuff. It's just that literally 2 of my senses are gone. So I have no choice but to heavily, heavily rely on my auditory and really listening to people's tone of voices and try to listen to the emotion behind what they're saying. So, but sometimes just using your auditory is extremely overwhelming because you have all this sensory overload of sounds coming from you all different directions, and you can't touch and feel to get grounded, which is scary. But you know what I say, you know, we're gonna get through this. And you know why we're gonna get through this? Because we got no choice. We're in it now, we're experiencing it now, and you have to just keep chugging through. My prayers go out to everybody, because it's a scary time. And I understand the financial burden, poverty. You know, people manifest their fear in different ways. You have some people spouting, this is nothing but the flu. That's just fear manifesting through them. Obviously, it's more than just the regular flu, right? It's fear, so they can cope and process. That's how they're processing it, so that way their fear doesn't overtake them. Then you have other people, their fear manifesting as panic buying. And I make sure that it's just me and my husband in my household, 2 adults. So we do not panic buy, we just buy what we need. But another truth too that a lot of other people experience is that we don't have the excess income or discretionary income to do so. And just, we don't want to buy hoard product from other people from getting the same essential items they need. Not only do you have to be sanitary, but the people around you do too. It's kind of defeating the purpose. Yeah, you may be squeaky clean, but if you go around someone that didn't have access to those same resources, doesn't really matter, does it? Because that germ will jump right on you regardless, because it's done by contact, right? So that's one thing I've noticed, like, because me, not just because of me, but since my context of interpreting the world is by tactile touching, I really do need hand sanitizer. I really would like to have alcohol wipes, but those essential items are just not available, point blank period. So I just wash my hands constantly with good old soap and water and put a good lotion balm to keep them from cracking or getting too dry. So I'm just constantly washing my hands since I don't have those essential products available to me at this time. So yeah, I just want to say, guys, that I just want to check in. I'm sure you noticed I haven't been uploading as frequently as I have been. I have another channel, a YouTube channel called, a Booktube channel called Blindly Reading. So what I've been doing is like recording a video on my main channel here in 1 week, and then the following week I record a video on my Booktube channel another week, and just alternate. So if you want to check it out, definitely go ahead. So yeah, that's all I wanted to come out and just kind of share my experience and just check in with you guys, let you know how I'm doing during this time. And I also, please comment down below. That's what I live for, is, you know, engaging with you guys, making friends online. So let me know how you're doing and how you're relieving your stress during this time, and what kind of fun things you're doing while you're in the house. Share those tips, because maybe that will help someone else do something like that in their home. Or what are your favorite hobbies that you're doing right now? Share in the comments below. So if you like the content, you know what to do. Like, subscribe if you wish. I would just like to get to know you guys better. And like I always say, guys, love the skin you're in. Embrace your uniqueness. It's so important during this time. Be the good. And being the good, it means looking out for your neighbors. Like in my neighborhood, most of my neighbors are over the age of 60. Check on them, you know, check on your family, check on your friends via FaceTime or Skype or phone call. Be the good. Be courageous, but be kind. Be empathetic, sympathetic, loving, diligent. Don't be hateful. Don't be racist. This virus is not a race-related disease, and you gotta let that go. That's one cool thing about being blind. I can't see any of that. Because you know what? It doesn't even fucking matter. This virus is human-wide. That's why it's spreading so fast. It's not race-wide. So let that shit go. Also, just be kind and be good. I was listening, sorry, tangent. I was listening to an article today where it was sharing there was a couple of teenagers, not everybody, but a couple of teenagers thought it was funny to go in a grocery store and cough on produce, film themselves doing it, and uploading it onto social media like YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, or Instagram. If you see content like that, it's not okay. Report it. Click that report button, and hopefully there are some ramifications for these young ones. You have to, it's not funny. People are scared, and you're ruining a limited resource. Why would you do that? Don't do that. Don't let ignorance taken place of common sense, because I have faith we still have common sense of what's right and wrong, right? So, like I said, definitely be the good. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.